Press. James, you told us yesterday that you knew that Chris would have a big game. What made you have that feeling?
How much he cares and how much work he puts in. With this only being a year that he's been here, obviously you see what he does, when he's on other teams, but how much he loves the game of basketball. So I know he was beating himself up after game one. He called me, we talked a little bit, and I said, don't worry about it. The win's all that matters, and I just knew he was going to come back and be aggressive, and that's what he did. So he got some shots to fall, and that's all it took.
Gerald, Kim Davis, Talk. Can you talk about just your game tonight, especially in the second quarter? It seemed like you kind of got your energy and your offense really seemed to kind of get the team kind of back into it.
My job is fairly easy. Just try to just bring a lot of energy on both ends of the floor, and just try to just find your open spaces in offense to be able to knock down shots. I'm actually blessed to be able to play with the MVP and Chris Paul, and those two guys to be able to get inside the defense and make easy plays for guys like us and the shooters on the team. So I think my job today was just to get open, cause energy, hit down shots, and just try to try to play energy on both ends of the floor.
Jonathan Fagan, Houston Chronicle. James, in a game and a game and a half really, where the threes aren't falling for you guys the way they normally do, what does it mean to have a guy who is not going to be shaken by that and just keep taking them the way he normally would in Gerald?
Well, first, that's what Coach preached. Like, we shoot the three ball, and we shoot it well. Like I said, tonight, we got more than we had last game in the fall. But since he's put a jersey on, a Houston jersey, he reps the city to the fullest, and the energy that he brings to come into the game and be that game changer. That's what we need. That's his role every single night. And since he's been here, he's been doing that. Knocking down shots, being active. He had a great block, rebounding the basketball, 11 to 12 rebounds. He's just not a shooter, and so we're blessed and fortunate to be able to have him on our team.
James, Mark Berman from Fox, you've had so much on your plate since you've come here, and on a night where the ball doesn't necessarily fall for you, and you're 2 for 18.
They didn't?
And you won by 20. How special is that for you?
I'm more happy than anybody right now, believe it or not, just because I'm not really worried about my shot. Like those same shots game one, they went in. In game three, I'll shoot those same shots, but I'm fortunate to have guys like, Gerald and just the entire team, to be able to have my back on both ends of the floor. And so, I just try to, make an impact on the game in other ways, and not just offensively. So, happy we got the win. Now we got to focus on game three. That's when, the series starts now.
Gerald, James talked about you representing Houston. You've talked so much about being home. How proud are you of what you did tonight for this team and for the city?
I'm very proud. Each time I step on that court, I'm proud, and I hope I make the city proud. But I have a lot more things that I want to do for the city, and that's bring a championship. So, we still have a long journey ahead of us. This is only 2 games, but what we did was what we were supposed to do is protect home court. Mm-hmm. Now we got to go out there in Minnesota and keep the same energy that we had today's game, and let's take care of business. I know it's going to be a tough environment there, but if we just keep doing what we're supposed to do and stay locked in like we've been locked in, let him lead us, we'll be fine.
James, there hasn't been a lot of discussion about how good the defense was tonight, particularly in that second quarter. Is that little stretch you guys played there, is that as challenging and as tough on it as you were defensively as you've seen all year?
Like, offensively, we're going to shoot a lot of threes, and we're going to play our style. We're going to play fast. Everybody knows that. But we don't really get a lot of credit for our defense and being able to, get multiple stops in a row to ignite our offense. And tonight was that example. We had 37 points in that second quarter, kind of blew the game open, And so the more we can find ways to get multiple stops in a row, our shots will be a lot easier, our layups will be a lot easier, and it'll be even tougher to beat us.
James, Davide Chinellato, Gazzetta Italy. Going back to your mindset when you had an off night like this, with your shooting, can you tell us about the difference between this year and last year when you have Chris and Gerald hitting big shots and you don't have to force like?
I got better players around.
What?
Better players.
Oh yeah.
Better players on both ends of the floor that have my back, and I know that.
you mentally? Helps you from a mindset point
Yeah, I
of
don't
view?
have to worry about me shooting the basketball. I miss what 16 shots today, and I'm gonna shoot the ball. When you got guys behind me telling me keep shooting, that's your shot. I'm gonna keep shooting. And then on the defensive end, I just got to make sure I'm locked in and create the energy. You know, make sure my rotations is really good, and just keep communicating.
James, you touched on her.
Does that take away the sense of urgency when you know you're not struggling, but you don't have to press? Yeah. Yeah, you look up, and I didn't even know what I was shooting, but I knew I wasn't making a lot of shots or any. But we were up 15, 17 points. That made me feel really good, you know. So I can have something, you know, to go back on if that happens again. That I know defensively, if we get stops, we're more than capable of winning games.
Hey, James Mountain, Channel 11. You touched on it earlier. Just your mindset going up to Minneapolis and trying to.
It's gonna be tough.
2-0 and.
Extremely tough. That crowd, that city, you know, they haven't been in the postseason in some years. They got a really good team, you know, at home, and so, you know, nothing's changed for us. You know, we've been a pretty good road team all year. You know, go out there, execute, limit our turnovers. I think we had 9 turnovers today, so that's a plus. You know, we can't give them easy buckets, easy opportunity, and just make it tough. Make it tough for every guy on that team. You know, and I think if we get that and still have confidence in our shot, like we haven't shot the ball well at all yet. You know, so knock out some shots and we'll be good.
Gerald, Chris Mouton with Southern Daily News. Can you expand what it really means to you to put on the Houston jersey and coming out playing for Houston in the playoffs?
I mean, it means more than a dream. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know how to really put this. I mean, this moment right here I'm living right now is everything that I've dreamed about since I was, 5 or 6 years old. So, right now I'm just living. I'm staying in the moment, but at the same time I'm trying to stay locked in because I still have a bigger goal that we need to achieve. It's not about just getting into the playoffs. It's actually about winning the championship and bringing the championship to Houston. So we still got a lot to do. We still got a long ways to go, but I feel like I'm focused and locked in on my journey.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
What goes up must come down. Up for Houston, down for the Cat. Only 9 shots made, 5 points. Here he is in the locker room after the loss.
I mean, we gotta have confidence. We gotta have confidence. This is the NBA. You learn real quick how to let games go and move on to the next one. We let this one down tonight. They did their job. They protected home court. Now it's our turn to do our job at home.
Why has it been so tough for you to get going?
I mean, it's just, we're working it out. And the flow of the game tells us what to do. We have our game plans. We stick to our game plans, and we go from there.
Can you feel like a decided focus from them on limiting you and trying to make it tough on you to get shots you want?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the flow of the game will dictate who shoots the ball. And, we're doing a good job right now of just trying to work around it. But, we got some things we got to clear up, we got to fix, and get ready for the next game.
Any frustrations on your part? Things going?
No. Can't be frustrated. There's no time to be frustrated. Too much focus and energy, positive energy has to go to the right way. So there ain't no time for negativity. There ain't no time for frustration. There ain't no time to hang your head down. We got to move on, truck on to the next game.
Even when you are getting the ball in the post, Carl or Capella and Nene making it difficult, I guess, to get the shots that you want?
Not necessarily. I think it's a team effort. You catch the ball, you turn around, you got 3 people guarding you at all times. So just trying to make the right play, just trying to see what the flow of the game gives me, and taking whatever the defense gives me as well.
He said again that he felt like you needed to play with more energy, that you needed energy to get deep, so you were able to get better opportunities. What's your thoughts on that?
I think we all got to be better, including myself. So just got to find ways. You got to find ways. Like I said, there's no time for negativity. There's only time for positivity. We got to keep moving on, find ways, and come up with some tweaks and be ready for the next game. It's a process. This thing is not gonna. Rome isn't built in one day. We got to do our job now, they did their job. That's how way how basketball works. You know, it's the best of 7. You know, it's not a one game of eliminations. It's not a college anymore. You know.
For most of the season, offense has not been a problem for this team. Is this a different kind of obstacle that you guys feel like you're facing than normal?
I mean, it's playoffs. I mean, you know, it's a different ball game. You know, the physicality is different. Everything's different all around. And the way the game is played is different. So we got to adjust accordingly. You know, we got to adjust accordingly. The game plans, they're more days off. You know, they're preparing just for us, solely for us, you know. So everything's a little different. So you're seeing, you know, different ideas and tactics used, you know, and we just got to adjust.
You established yourself as an all-star and, you know, obviously marquee talent in this league. Is there a pressure to prove yourself on this playoff stage?
No, I just go out here and I just try to find ways to win. You know, I'm not looking for statistics and all that hype and glory and all that BS that doesn't matter. You know, I'm here for wins and dubs. So whatever I got to do to win the game, like I said before, if it takes me shooting 34 shots, 30 shots, whatever the case may be, 5 shots, you know, 1 shot, no shots, whatever the case is, I got to do for us to win. And I'm willing to do that regardless of the situation.
What changed your defense in the second quarter there after you guys had that early lead?
I think they got some second chance points. They got some rebounds. You know, they hit some shots, some difficult shots as well. I got to look at tape and see a little more about it. But for right now, taking the guess, I think it was more of just those hustle plays, you know, like ball gets stripped, they find a way to recover and get the ball up, you know, stuff like that. So I got to look at tape a little more.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Karl-Anthony Towns clearly frustrated, but doing his best to, you know, look, hey, he's right, not college. It's all the right things. They're going home. They took care of theirs. We take care of ours. But we keep talking about the same conversation, which is fundamentally whose fault is it? Whose obligation is it? I'll put it that way, to make sure this doesn't happen again in Game 3.
I'm going to look at a bigger picture beyond Karl-Anthony Towns. This roster is an assortment of talent. They have a bunch of guys that are capable scorers, but they don't necessarily fit together. If you look at Houston Rockets, these guys fit. They play a role. We know what P.J. Tucker does. We know what Trevor Ariza brings to the table. We know why Chris Paul is there. I can't say the same in Minnesota. They have a lot of guys who can score, but I'm not sure how they mesh together. And Karl-Anthony Towns, unfortunately, is on the back end of that.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Derrick Rose is what, double the points of Carl? I mean, that can't happen.
Almost doubled up Carl's score.
That can't happen.
Series.
That can't
in about 20 fewer minutes.
That can't happen. I mean, you know, when you sit there from the standpoint when you look at the team, who got to get together? Is it a point? You got Jeff Teague, who's the point guard, right? So he's got the ball. You got Jimmy Butler, who's probably the de facto leader of the team, right? You've got Tibbs, who's the coach. You got Cat, who's got to take ownership himself. How do they get on the same page for Game 3, Tony?
Well, understanding that their playoff lives is at stake, each game, it might be different. I mean, you're going to have nights where you shoot like 2 for 18 with James Harden, but I don't see no attack mode in Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't see no hunger in him right now. And for you to shoot 9 shots both games, I mean, it clearly shows you're not buying into what we're trying to do. And he's frustrated. You can see it in his interviews. But Game 3, we're going to need a better attack from Karl-Anthony Towns.
Game 2, Gerald Green, CP3. Others on the attack with James Harden, 2 for 18, 12 points. It didn't seem to matter. The Rockets, all they do is win. They're up 2-0 in the series. We'll hear from Chris Paul on the other side.